Hi babes, it's me, Shannon for BrownGirlBella, back again to bring you more lips, lashes, and luxury. I thought today I would follow up on my micro shading excursion that I took on Sunday. If you were watching my latest video, you'll know that is something new about what's been going on with my situation here. So in case you haven't seen it, yes, I did get microbladed on Sunday, March the 14th. It is now March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day. So I'm doing a little Luck of the Irish look for you today. And I thought I would just come on and further expound on the process and really how it felt and whether or not I would do this again. So let's get started. BrownGirlBella. Shading is a semi-permanent makeup treatment that involves inserting a specialized needle with pigment under the skin in a gradient pattern, creating an airbrush look. It is considered to be a gentler process than microblading, and the technique that is used for achieving a kind of misty brow look. The results are made with a tool with needles that create pin-like dots. This procedure is actually perfect for anyone with sparse or light-colored eyebrows, if they've been over-plucked. It's also a great choice for those with sensitive or oily skin. So microblading, perhaps one of the most famous treatments, involves a specialized tool made up of tiny needles and permanent makeup pigments. This way creates the strokes that are so natural looking. It gives the brow an almost 3D resembling shape. So microblading is usually done with a tool that looks like a blade consisting of 10 to 12 tiny needles. The artist makes small incisions in your skin and then fills them in with pigment. The result is like hairline strokes that look very realistic, like your own brows. They look very natural, very dense, and bushy. Micro shading can be done with a hand tool, but it's usually done with a machine. An electric tool that applies pin-like dots in a gradient pattern and creates a semi-permanent powdered effect. This is also why they sometimes call it powder brows. Unlike microblading, you see hair-like strokes, and micro shading, your brows will have a powdery makeup-like effect. Both of these treatments are semi-permanent, which means they will fade after some time. Micro shading does last longer than microblading. Microblading lasts 2 to 3 years with proper maintenance and regular touch-ups, while micro shading can last up to 4 years if taken care of properly. Both treatments are slightly uncomfortable, but they're not painful. Since I got micro shading, on a scale of 1 to 5, I would give it like a 3.5 in terms of pain. It's a little uncomfortable, but it is not painful. The artist does apply numbing cream to the area, but for micro shading, she filled it in first without the numbing cream, and then she added the numbing cream. Whereas I believe with microblading, the numbing cream is added before they go in to microblade your eyebrows. So both of them have its risks. Microblading and micro shading involve scratching the surface layer of the skin, so there is a risk of irritation and minor risk of infection. The best way to avoid this is using a reliable esthetician who has a lot of experience. Your eyebrow artist should be working in a sterile environment with quality materials. When it comes to aftercare and the healing process, there's really not much difference between microblading and microshading. The brows will take about 4 to 6 weeks to heal, and during this period you should avoid wearing makeup. On your eyebrows. Swimming, sweating, hot saunas, hot baths, lengthy showers, or using a jacuzzi. Also, don't use any type of chemical peels. Picking, peeling, scratching the pigment areas is strictly forbidden. Also, try not to sleep on your face. Again, you don't want any rubbing to occur in this area. So when I wash my face, I really just pat the brow area with the cloth, and then I go in and scrub the rest of the face. Since microblading does heal faster than microshading, touch-ups should be done every 6 months. But with microshading, you only have to have touch-ups every 8 months. Now, I'm going to go back at the end of May for my first touch-up just to see what areas need to be a little redefined. And then I don't have to go and see her until 8 months. So microblading hair strokes will look better on dry skin than oily skin. People with oily skin should choose microshading over microblading. Also, if you have sensitive skin, microshading is a better option. Microshading is also good for people who have very sparse brows, like myself, while microblading is suitable for people who already have brows but just want to fill in sparse areas. So now let's talk about the overall look you may want to go for. So if you want a look that is more natural, go for the microblading. Microshading looks like you drew your brows on, and it's for people who are into that kind of makeup look. And since I'm a makeup girl, that's what I went for. But in hindsight, would I still do this version? Aha! Find out next. Microshading is currently a bit more popular since it has fans among Instagram influencers. So if you want your brows to be a little bit more noticeable, go for the microshading. If you like the natural everyday look and you don't wear heavy makeup, then microblading is a better option. So what if you want to do both? You can. It is possible to do a combination of microblading and microshading known as combo brows, which give a more denser, more defined brow. Feathered-like hair strokes are made from the beginning to the middle with the powder finish toward the tail. It's perfect for people who aren't sure which treatment to choose. Also people with mature skin who have thinning eyebrows and dry skin. They're perfect candidates for these combo brows. Combo brows look very natural with just a hint of makeup. So what are the main takeaways? The main takeaway is microblading has been around for a while now. It is very popular, so it's very easy to find someone who is well versed in microblading to have them do this. It will save you from having to draw your eyebrows on every morning, and if you're a fan of a natural look, this might be what you want to go for. If you like a makeup look and those Instagram eyebrows, microshading might be the right thing for you because again, it will give you more definition, it looks more makeup-like, and it looks more like what is really popular right now. So with all of that said, would I do it again if I had my choice? I would, but I would do a combination of microblading and micro shading. Reason being, in this area right here in the front, I'm very sparse. So I would have liked more hair-like definition here so that it looks more like hair. I am okay with how the tail looks, and I'm fine with, you know, having that tail look the way it does. But I think in the middle and in the front, I would like more of a feather-like hair stroke kind of look and feel. So I'm thinking maybe when I go back, I might get a combination of the microblading and the micro shading. We'll see what it looks like when it's all said and done and the pigment starts to fade a little bit. So now let me finish off this makeup look while I talk about the aftercare. So the aftercare for both is pretty much the same. You're going to keep the area as dry as possible. When I wash my face, again, I concentrate more on this bottom half of my face, and then before I'm done, I take 2, maybe 3 fingers and I'll wipe the forehead with my cleanser, and then I will rinse it off with these 3 fingers and then pat it dry with a paper towel. This way, you know, if there's any water that gets on the brow, I can just pat it with my paper towel. So that's really been helping me a lot lately in terms of making sure that my eyes and my eyebrows don't get wet, because you're not supposed to sweat, you're not supposed to go into saunas, no swimming, none of that stuff while you have these brows on. So it's a good thing I got it done before the summertime. I'm just throwing in some forest green for the lower brow, for the lower lash line. Just throwing in some forest green here, just to give it some cohesiveness. And a few coats of mascara, and we are done. In a couple of weeks, the esthetician who did my brows and Jovi Beauty's brows will be on my channel to talk about how you can make money doing this yourself, and also she'll be on hand to answer any further questions that you may have about this process, because understand it's not for everyone, and you really have to do your research to find what method ultimately is the best for you. Like I said, I have been researching this myself for about a year before I made the decision to go with micro shading. And still, after now doing the micro shading, I would have liked a more bespoke look. So hopefully I can go back in and do a little bit of micro blading in the front, and then keep my micro shading at the tail end, because I do like the way that looks. Add a little bit of pink to that sweet as cocoa. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of highlight. Finally, I'm just going to throw on a little bit of our Tom Ford. This is in Smoke Glass. Smoke Glass. Alright, so that's it for this tutorial. and deep dive into micro shading versus microblading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget, if you have not yet subscribed, now's your chance to do so. Tap that bell, and then don't forget to also tap that notification bell so you'll be notified each and every time I upload. Until we meet again, you have now been Bellified. Take care, and I'll see you back here soon.
Take over, all this on me.